Hi, this is Frank Taylor at Nature at Your Door, and this is another on the road episode with Nature at Your Door. This time I'm starting out in the classic village of Zermatt. It's a beautiful village full of flowers and old buildings. Sure, it's a little bit touristy, but it's still so charming, and it's easy to find yourself lost in these traditional buildings that are so beautifully decorated by the people that live here. The food is also amazing. And so this was the start of my hike where I wanted to reach the Hornli Hut at the base of the Matterhorn, one of the most iconic and recognizable mountains in all the world. Stay tuned for my hike to almost 11,000 feet in the Swiss Alps.
Right here in your backyard. You never know what you're going to find.
My hike begins here at the Trogner lift station, where I took the cable car up from the village of Zermatt. And here I catch a cup of coffee before I venture out into the cold and the kind of sketchy weather that's promoted today. The weather report called for clearing through the day, but with mountain weather, you can never be sure. So I always bring rain pants, raincoat, a warm underlayer, a down puff jacket that I can stuff, and often spikes as well that I can put over my boots if I encounter ice. It's actually September 2nd, so you'd think the weather would be good, but stay tuned to the end of this video and see what happens when I reach the hut. Leaving the warmth of the Trogner cable car station behind, the landscape feels rather desolate. The trail, in typical Swiss custom, is very well marked with white, red, and white markings. The landscape seems so wilderness and utterly barren, just of rock and snow and ice and the clouds in the distance. This land has just been recently revealed because it has been under glaciers for hundreds and hundreds of years. And these glaciers are now actively melting as we speak throughout Switzerland. As I walk, the clouds open and close and give me glimpses of the iconic Matterhorn in the distance. Here I walk through this glacial valley, grinded almost flat by the weight of the glacier and the crushed rock pushed up on the sides as the moraines of this glacier. And I look up and I can see where I'm going to be going. The trail then leaves the glacier basin behind and starts to ascend a steep rocky slope, which then levels out onto a trail that follows along the ridge. At the same time I get to this elevation, you can see that the snow kind of started, or I think it's called graupel, a mix of snow and ice was pelting down on me. So I put on my rain gear and continued forward because I still had really great footing and I felt that I had the proper gear and the footing was still solid. The trail is going to follow this ridge, and then we're going to go up that steep, rocky incline there. We'll be rock scrambling, using our hands, weaving back and forth between the rock rubble to get to the place where the Hornli Hut is located at the base of the Matterhorn. This climb up to the Hornli Hut took me probably about 4 hours with almost 700 meters of elevation gain or 2,300 feet of elevation gain. And because of the weather, and I wanted to get to the warmth and safety of the hut till the weather cleared, I was actually planning to stay overnight. I kind of hustled my way up there and took very few photos. I'll show you more photos of the hike on the way back. Arriving at the Hornli Hut, I was certainly shocked to find almost 4 inches of snow on the ground at this 11,000 foot elevation. Still surprising for September 2nd, and I don't think it was predicted at all. There's an old adage, if you don't like the weather in the mountains, wait 10 minutes. Well, and this was really true. About an hour after I arrived, the clouds opened up, the sun came out, and we had this spectacular scenery and views of the iconic Matterhorn. I'm always stunned by these huts. Here, this one at 3,260 meters, almost 11,000 feet. And the only way to get here is to hike and climb to them. Food and drink is helicoptered in and out to create these amazing oases in this wilderness. The Hornli Hut has been here for almost 130 years. It was renovated in 2015. It's at an altitude, like I said, of 3,260 meters, and it can accommodate over 150 overnight guests. It's really become the gold standard for high altitude accommodation, welcoming hikers and trekkers and mountaineers from all over the world. When you first enter the hut, you go in the mudroom, you lay down your ice axe, take off your mountaineering boots, and you put on a pair of Crocs that they've supplied for you. And you always wear the Crocs throughout. This was a nice bed that I got, my bunk. You can buy beer and wine, and they make a fantastic 3-course dinner and a breakfast that's all part of your accommodation fee. Always very hearty food. As night fell, the moon came out, and the sights were just magnificent. Looking out the windows and going out on the deck, you could see the lights of Zermatt below, and I had an amazing night's sleep in the comfort and safety of this magnificent hut. The Matterhorn is one of the most iconic mountains in the world, and perhaps one of the most recognizable. It's become an indelible emblem of the Alps and is the most photographed mountain in the world as I take these photos. It stands at 4,478 meters, 14,692 feet. And I know there was probably 7 or 8 climbing teams that went on and left the hut at 2 or 3 a.m. to make the climb. It's a long, grueling, marathon-like climb. I'm 68 years old now, but in the last 18 years, I've climbed at least a dozen 4,000 meter or almost 14,000 foot peaks, but none of them compared to the effort necessary to climb the Matterhorn. It's a tough climb. It's not really technically very difficult, but it's a lot of climbing up and a lot of climbing down. The morning welcomed me with bright sunshine and an opportunity to show you what the trail really looked like as I was coming up. It didn't take me very long to descend and leave the snow behind, and you can see the rockiness of the trail. There are places where there's ropes or chains that you can hang on to or use them to help your way up through the rocks. It's a really spectacular hike. Highly recommend it. Had an amazing time. And then this next clip I filmed as a live clip from the mountain, and I'll share that with you now. Good morning, high above Zermatt, Switzerland. I'm out hiking. I stayed overnight at this place. I'm going to swing around. Here I am at the base of the Matterhorn. I climbed up all through here, up over this ridge to this hut here at 10,800 feet, right at the base of the iconic Matterhorn. Fantastic hike. Went 5 miles today over mountain terrain, and it was just an incredible experience. Of course, it was snowing on my way up, which was unexpected, completely unexpected weather-wise, but I always prepare for the weather. Had all my gear, had ice cleats, rain pants, rain jacket, got my big mountaineering boots. So just wanted to say good morning here from Zermatt, Switzerland, at the base of the Matterhorn. I'm heading back now to catch up with Ellen. Julian's been climbing another mountain with a guide, 3,000 feet higher than me to 14,000 feet, Castor and Pollux, that I did a few years ago. See you all later. This was truly a fantastic experience. I hope you enjoyed my sharing this with you. I'm passionate about hiking and climbing in the Alps. It drives me. I work out year-round to be able to do this stuff. Thanks for watching this episode. And remember, if you like what I do on this channel, please subscribe, give me a like, and leave me a comment. I really love hearing from my viewers. And please do check out my Switzerland playlist for more on hikes and climbs and beautiful places and the ecology and biology of Switzerland. And remember, I cover all things nature, from frogs, toads, snakes, and turtles, the myriapoda, insects, trees, wildflowers, and fungi. I cover all the things you might encounter just outside your door. Thanks again for watching this episode of Nature at Your Door.